Have you ever felt trapped by the need for external validation or dependent on the people around you to find happiness? In today's world, where social media and other people's expectations dominate our lives, Stoic philosophy brings a liberating truth. You are already enough. In this video, we will explore how to embrace your emotional independence, become your own best companion, and learn to find strength within yourself. There will be 10 practical lessons that will help you let go of dependence on others and build a more fulfilled, balanced, and authentic life. Get ready for a journey of self-discovery and transformation, because in the end, you will discover that you never needed anyone to feel complete. Stay tuned until the end for the last lesson. It promises to change your perspective forever. Shall we get started? But first, I saw that you are not yet subscribed to the channel, so I ask that you subscribe. It is free, and you will still be notified whenever new videos are released here on the channel. Continuing. 1. Emotional independence and self-sufficiency. Imagine yourself as the captain of a ship on the high seas. The waves may be calm or stormy, but the strength that keeps the ship on course comes from your ability to navigate and your confidence in yourself. This is the essence of emotional independence. The ability to remain steadfast, even when the waters of life are uncertain. The Stoic philosophy, which originated more than 2,000 years ago, invites us to reflect on the true source of happiness. For the Stoics, everything we need to be genuinely happy is already within us. It is not something we buy or that others can give us, but an inner wealth that we build over time: self-knowledge, resilience, and peace of mind. Imagine waking up on a harsh winter's day. Outside, the wind blows hard, but inside your home, there is warmth, light, and comfort. Being your own best companion is like having this well-built inner home. When we learn to be content with who we are, we stop depending on external validation and create a space where we always feel welcome. However, this journey is not instantaneous. It requires practice and intentionality. Just as a sculptor needs time to reveal the hidden beauty in a block of marble, so too do we need to hone our inner selves. This begins with accepting who we are, including our imperfection. It's the work of looking in the mirror and saying, "I am enough. I am enough." The world around us isn't always kind. People come and go, relationships can flourish or wither. But emotional self-sufficiency allows us to navigate these experiences with poise. When we stop waiting for someone to complete us and instead find completeness within ourselves, we become stronger, freer, and more capable of genuine love. Ultimately, the lesson of Stoicism is simple but powerful. Be like an inner garden that thrives no matter the weather. Nurture your roots with healthy thoughts. Care for yourself with compassion, and accept that external changes don't have to disturb your peace. Because when we learn to be our own strength, we discover that the greatest treasure we have is, and always has been, our own company. 2. The inspiring story of Samuel, the mechanic who found his own strength. Samuel was a simple mechanic, known in the small town of Villa Esperanza for his dedication to his work and honesty with his customers. Since he was young, he liked to take things apart to understand how they worked. He fixed broken toys, rusty bicycles, and even old radios that neighbors brought to his house. At the age of 20, he already had a small improvised space in the backyard where he repaired motorcycles and cars with a talent that surprised everyone. But life was not easy. Samuel lost his parents when he was still a teenager and had to drop out of school to support his 2 younger brothers. He worked in third-party workshops for years, always dreaming of opening his own business. However, the fear of failure and dependence on other people's advice left him paralyzed. Every time he thought about taking the next step, he heard the voices of his friends saying, "Better wait a little longer. You don't have enough money. What if it doesn't work out?" The turning point came one rainy morning in November. A customer showed up at the garage where Samuel worked, asking for urgent repairs to his truck engine. Samuel's boss, in a hurry to get to another job, handed him the job and left. Samuel, despite being insecure, rolled up his sleeves and dedicated hours to the problem. By the end of the day, The truck was working perfectly, and the customer, impressed with the quality of the work, insisted on paying extra as a thank you. It was at that moment that Samuel realized something. He was capable of accomplishing great things on his own, without depending on anyone else to make decisions or execute his work. For the first time, he felt genuine confidence in his own abilities. Samuel soon began planning his own workshop. He didn't have many resources, but he decided to save every penny he earned and learn everything about management and customer service in his spare time. Instead of seeking advice from those who discouraged him, he began to trust in his own vision and determination. He also used social media to promote his work, something few mechanics in the region did at the time. 2 years later, he opened Oficina do Samuel, a small space but with organized equipment and a service that captivated customers. His reputation grew quickly, and what began as a timid dream became a thriving business. More than a workshop, the place became a meeting place, where Samuel shared his story of overcoming difficulties with young people in the community, inspiring others to believe in themselves. Today, Samuel looks back with pride. He knows that the journey was full of challenges, but he understands that the secret to success was within him all along. The courage to make decisions alone, trust in his abilities, and never give up, even when everything seemed impossible. His story is not just about opening a workshop, but about the strength that each one carries within themselves to overcome obstacles and turn dreams into reality. 3. Accepting loneliness as a tool for growth. There was a moment in Clara's life when the silence became deafening. It was as if the whole world was moving forward while she remained stagnant, alone. Social media showed people laughing at parties, celebrating achievements, living seemingly full lives. But there, in that emptiness of her room, lit only by the dim light of a lamp, she began to see something that was invisible before. Loneliness did not have to be her enemy. Accepting loneliness was, for Clara, a slow and uncomfortable process, but deeply transformative. At first, it seemed suffocating. Every moment alone brought up thoughts that she had avoided for years. But over time, she realized that solitude was a mirroring, honest reflection of who she really was, without masks, without distractions, without the need to please anyone. Solitude allowed her to delve into her own inner world, confronting fears, discovering forgotten dreams, and recognizing parts of herself that had been stifled by the rush of everyday life. She began to understand that emotional independence was not the same as isolation. On the contrary, it meant finding peace in one's own company, being able to embrace one's own imperfections, and, most importantly, not depending on the validation of others to feel complete. On quiet mornings, with a cup of tea in hand, Clara began to write. At first, they were loose thoughts, almost like outbursts. Later, they became deeper reflections on who she wanted to be and what really mattered. She discovered that solitude is an opportunity for dialogue with herself, a rare and precious moment when the external noise gives way to the inner voice. Accepting solitude did not mean rejecting the world or shutting out people. Clara still enjoyed the company of friends and family, but now these relationships came from a place of authenticity, not necessity. Being at peace with herself meant she could share her life with others without losing herself in the process. Solitude became a tool for growth for Clara. It was like a workshop where she polished her soul, adjusted her expectations, and built a solid foundation to face life. And when the silence of the night enveloped her, she no longer felt fear. She felt gratitude, because it was there, in solitude, that she found her strength. 4. Set boundaries and protect your inner peace. Protecting your inner peace is an essential act of self-care for living a balanced and fulfilled life. Setting clear boundaries is not just a matter of saying no, but of honoring your own needs, values, and priorities. We are often tempted to please others or take on more responsibilities than we can handle, but this can lead to burnout and a loss of connection with our inner well-being. The Stoics, for example, taught that it is essential to reflect on who and what deserves your attention energy, and emotional space. They believe that by limiting access to these precious resources, you maintain control over what can affect your state of mind and your ability to live with virtue and tranquility. Saying no is a skill that requires practice and courage, as it is not always easy to refuse requests or set boundaries, especially with those close. However, every no you say to something that is not aligned with your goals or values is a yes you give to yourself and to what truly matters in addition, and what really matters in your life. In addition, protecting your inner peace involves creating healthy spaces to recharge your batteries, whether through moments of solitude, meditation, or activities that promote mental and emotional. Learn to identify the triggers that rob you of your peace, such as negative conversation, toxic environments, or self-sabotaging habits, and take conscious steps to move away from them. By adopting this self-care approach, you not only improve your quality of life, but you also set a powerful example for others, showing that prioritizing emotional health is not selfish, but a vital necessity for living with purpose and authenticity. 5. Silence as a powerful counselor. Silence is a valuable and often underrated tool, capable of bringing clarity and fostering a deeper connection with oneself. It allows us to tune out external and internal noise, creating a space where we can truly listen to our thoughts, feelings, and intuitions. Being in silence teaches us to trust our own inner wisdom, to access answers that are often buried beneath the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and to cultivate a fuller awareness of what truly matters. By embracing silence as a counselor, we develop the ability to observe our emotions without judgment, which helps us to better understand our desires, fears, and motivations. This state of introspection also encourages us to ask fundamental questions about our lives, our purpose, and our relationships, allowing us to find paths that are more aligned with our essence. In addition, silence has a calming effect on the body and mind, helping to reduce stress and increase the ability to concentrate. It invites us to slow down, to listen to the subtle amidst the chaos, and to find balance and harmony. Whether through daily moments of meditation, a quiet walk in nature, or simply a moment of pause in the middle of a busy day, silence offers the opportunity to reconnect with who we truly are and to prepare ourselves to face challenges with greater clarity and confidence. Finally, by learning to value silence, we discover that it is not just the absence of sound, but an active state of listening and presence that strengthens us and guides us toward a more conscious and meaningful life. 6. You as the hero of your own story. Imagine yourself as the main character in an epic saga where each day is a new page to be written. As with every great journey, there are challenges to face, difficult choices to make, and moments of triumph to celebrate. But unlike fantasy stories, you are not waiting for a wizard to hand you a magic sword or a wise mentor to show you the way. Your weapon is determination, and your mentor is the wisdom you choose to seek. Stoic philosophy invites you to step into the hero's shoes with courage and purpose. It teaches that instead of waiting for help to come from outside, you must look within and find the strength you already have. When the storm approaches, Stoicism does not promise a safe haven. It promises that you will learn to dance in the rain. For the Stoic, life's challenges are not insurmountable obstacles, but rather arenas for growth. As a warrior who sees each battle as an opportunity to sharpen his skills, you can view everyday problems as chances to become more resilient, wiser, and more complete. By taking the lead in your story, you are no longer a passive piece on the chessboard of life. It doesn't matter if the circumstances are difficult, if the winds are against you, or if it seems like the world is against you. As a hero, you decide how to react. The responsibility for the narrative is yours, and that is liberating. Think of the great heroes of mythology or literature. They are not defined by the absence of problems, but by the way they face them. The same is true of your life. Every decision you make, no matter how small it may seem, is a chapter that shapes the plot of your journey. Getting up early when the world wants you to procrastinate, taking care of your body and mind in a world that offers easy distractions, and seeing each mistake as a lesson rather than a failure are heroic acts. You don't need superpowers to be the protagonist of your story. You just need the courage to embrace life as it is and write the ending you want. That way, when you look back, you'll see not just a collection of days, but a journey worth remembering. 7. Happiness as an internal achievement. Happiness is not a state that depends exclusively on the people around you or external circumstances. It is an internal process, a journey that begins with the commitment to look within and understand yourself. Cultivating happiness involves self-knowledge, which means recognizing your emotions, your motivations, and what really matters to you. It's also about gratitude, the practice of valuing what you already have, even in the small things of everyday life, finding joy in the simplest details of life. In addition, inner happiness requires acceptance, an ability to make peace with what is beyond your control. This does not mean resignation, but rather understanding that there are limitations and imperfections in the world, and, even so, choosing to move forward with ease and serenity. When you realize that happiness is an internal construction, it stops being a distant goal and becomes an experience that can be accessed at any time, even in the midst of challenge. It arises from the alignment between who you are, what you believe, and how you act, creating a balance that brings peace of mind and a lasting sense of well-being. By transforming this vision into practice, you discover that true happiness is not something you expect to find outside, but something that you build, nurture, and carry within your. And so we come to the end of this video. Remember, you already have everything you need within. Stoic philosophy not only teaches us to be independent, but to embrace our inner strength, to value our solitude, and to live with purpose. By learning to be your own best company, to set boundaries, to find peace in silence, and to cultivate a happiness that comes from within, you discover the power of being enough for yourself. This doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the company of others, but rather that your personal fulfillment should never depend. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, when you stop looking for in others what you can find in yourself, that's when you truly begin to be free. Now, I invite you to take the next step on this journey of self-knowledge and independence. Leave a comment below with how you intend to apply these lessons to you. And of course, don't forget to like the video and share it with anyone you think also needs to hear this message. Until next time, and remember, your true strength lies in who you already are.